Hello and welcome to our story time. And today it's Monty and Friends African Adventure. And as you can see, Monty's in the background there having a little snooze. It's the mission to save Kalua. And I'll just read you a little bit on the back to tell you what the story's about. Now famous after their ocean rescue, Monty, Cookie and the Spangles were looking forward to a well-earned rest. But when a letter arrives from Africa, they need to act fast. Kaluwa, a baby elephant, is being held captive, and what follows is a race against time to rescue her. But will they be too late? So that's the story, and there's some wonderful pictures in here by our illustrator Zoe Saunders, and I'm going to try and show you as many of the pictures as I can as we go through. Since our ocean adventure, things just weren't the same. The story went viral, bringing us new fame. There were fans and reporters and even TV, all coming to Wigwam to see Cookie and me. Famous. The Spangles were celebs and their ears legendary. They featured in the paper and were on the BBC. From all round the world letters came by the sack, which gave our poor postman a really bad back. Poor postman. A letter came one day, sent from Africa. Please help me, it's urgent. Your friend Kaluwa. At first we were confused, didn't know what it meant, but soon learnt the fate of this baby elephant. As we read through the pages, the story became clear, and we knew why poor Kaluwa was living in fear. Poachers had appeared and forced her family to free, and she'd been taken prisoner for a life of misery. Her future would now be in a circus or zoo, performing tricks all locked up with just bars to look through. With no family or friends, her life would be sad. As we read through a letter, we just felt so bad. And there's poor Kalua. Oh, what a shame. At the end came a plea. Please help me if you can. I looked at Cookie and could see she had a plan. She knew someone who knew someone. It was hard to explain, but she said that these humans could get us on a plane. When we told the Spangles we were going to fly, a look of suspicion appeared in their eyes. When we said on a plane, there were definite cheers, as we wouldn't be needing the use of their ears. The very next day, and in the middle of the night, we were smuggled on the plane to start our long flight. This looked like it could be our biggest adventure. As the plane flew south, it was next stop Africa. We were all a bit nervous as the plane touched the ground, but we knew that our elephant friend must be found. The letter had said she was locked in a crate in a big airport compound with a huge metal gate. There she is locked up. She'd be shipped out tomorrow to her awful new home, to be chained up forever with no freedom to roam. We searched the airport and it was getting quite late when the Spangles heard tapping from a big wooden crate. Looks very exciting, doesn't it? The gate needed to open before our rescue could start, and I have to admit, this was my favourite part. We took 5 big steps backwards, Cookie and me, and charged full speed at the gate on the count 1, 2, 3. It crashed open easily, and there was the proof. There's nothing been made that can stop Noofy Doofs. The Spangles went to find where Kalua was locked, and when they found where she was, it had everyone shocked. There's the Spangles breaking down the gate, Monty and Cookie. There wasn't just one baby elephant here. As we searched round the compound, it soon became clear. There were 4 other crates with captives inside. We'd come to save one Ellie, but now there were 5. 5 elephants. We decided quickly without any fuss. All 5 of those babies were coming with us. We broke them out swiftly with more Noofy Doof power. The whole rescue had taken us less than an hour. But we couldn't just leave them afraid and alone. We came up with a plan to get them back home. There was a place not too far that was wild and free, and that's where these beautiful babies should be. And there's the baby elephants rescued, and there's the lovely place they're heading to. As a huge orange sun climbed out of the park, we made our way north to the national park. The safety of the city was left far behind. I admit I was nervous about what we would find. As our strange group approached the park's entrance gate, we hurried inside. There was no time to wait. Once inside the park, the babies were free, but we needed to help them find their families. Wild creatures were everywhere. It was amazing to see, though they seemed to treat us very suspiciously. We were following a trail that looked well used and clear when I saw something ahead which filled me with fear. Can you see anything there that's a little bit scary? We knew straight away what was lying in wait. A huge lion had seen us, and escape seemed too late. But we needn't have worried. He was going nowhere. This magnificent beast had been caught in a snare. Set by the poachers with a wire and a peg, this horrible trap had wrapped round his leg. Now we had two choices, to help or to go. No need for the answer. You already know. There's the poor elephant, the poor lion. Caught up. 5 elephants pushed down the tree in no time, and the Spangles carefully tugged at the line. Cookie and me pulled the peg from the ground. Then the lion was free as the wire unwound. So the lion's free. Not a sound could be heard as we stood face to face. Then he walked into the scrub and was gone without trace. We heard later on we'd been given free passage by order of a lion who'd roared out that message. We continued our trek and arrived at the river, where creatures were lurking, which made us all shiver. As we stood on the bank, a crocodile swam nearer, then said in a deep voice, "Sorry, mate, thought you was a zebra." The river was wide and we couldn't cross. After a whole day of travelling, we were now at a loss. Suddenly, from deep down, bubbles rose to the top, followed by heads with a sloosh and a plop. 30 or more hippos rose one after the other until the width of the river was totally covered. They had come to our aid. What a huge privilege to cross the vast Mara River on a hippopotami. Wow, a hippopotami. In front of us now the plains were open and vast. We continued at speed as the light faded fast. On the horizon we saw them, though the dust made them blurred. We couldn't mistake the huge elephant herd. And there they are. The babies were squealing with joy at this vision. It seemed we were nearing the end of our mission. But as we moved closer, a sight filled us with dread. A poacher lay in wait for the group up ahead. There he is. Ooh. There was no chance to warn them. We'd seen him too late. Could anything save them from this horrible fate? He lifted his gun and took aim real fast, when suddenly, from behind me, something zoomed past. With one single bound, Cookie launched her attack and landed all 4 feet on that bad human's back. He crashed face down from his noofy-doof clout, but he pulled on the trigger and a gunshot rang out. There's Cookie jumping on his back. For a moment there was silence as the smoke and dust cleared. Then Cookie jumped up, and relieved we all cheered. We all rushed to help keep this villain held down, but the rangers had heard the gunfire from town. Soon they were there and took the poacher away. This had certainly been a long action-packed day. We looked on as the babies were met by the herd, happy tears in our eyes, no one saying a word. We completed our mission. It was time to go home, our elephant friends free forever to roam. We were happy and tired, and as day became night, our thoughts turned to finding a safe return flight. The baby elephants came to see us, taking turns one by one, then returned to the herd and were silently gone. Kalua was last and said, "I owe you a huge debt. You'll be in my heart always," because elephants never forget. And that's the lovely story of how Monty, Cookie and the Spangles saved Kalua. in their African adventure. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back soon with some nice activities.